The fog rolled in thick and silent that night, swallowing the streets of Grayridge whole. Emily pressed her coat tighter around her, the chill biting through the fabric as she hurried down the deserted avenue. She had lived in Grayridge all her life, but tonight the town felt foreign, as if some invisible hand had twisted it into a place of shadows and whispers. Her phone buzzed. It was a message from Jake, her childhood friend, who had moved away years ago. "Don't go near the old mill. It's awake." Emily frowned. It had always been a local legend, a mill that had burned decades ago, leaving only a skeletal frame, yet locals claimed they could still hear machinery running and voices in the dead of night. She had laughed it off as a child, but something about the fog made the warning feel heavy. She passed the abandoned bakery, its windows shattered, and the air smelled of something metallic. That's when she heard it, a soft tapping sound behind her. Emily spun around, but the street was empty. Only the fog moved, curling around the lampposts like ghostly fingers. A sudden memory struck her. When she was 7, she had dared to enter the mill with Jake, and they had run screaming out of it when the floorboards seemed to moan beneath their feet. She had thought it was the wind. But now, the fear felt real, pressing against her chest like an invisible hand. Emily's curiosity was stronger than her fear. The fog seemed to beckon her forward, twisting her steps toward the ruins of the mill. Rusted machinery loomed through the mist, and the broken windows looked like hollow eyes watching her approach. A whisper came from the shadows. "Emily." Her name carried on a wind that was both cold and sweet, carrying a hint of smoke and decay. She froze. The voice sounded like Jake. She remembered that he had vanished years ago, right after their last visit to the mill. The police had called it an accident, a misstep, a fall, but Emily had never believed them. The entrance of the mill yawned before her, black and endless. Her flashlight flickered, but she pressed inside, drawn by the voice. The air was thick, each breath tasting of rust and ash. The tapping returned, now louder, echoing from the upper floors. "Jake," she whispered. Silence answered her, then a faint glow appeared at the top of the stairs. Emily climbed cautiously, each step creaking beneath her weight. The glow pulsed like a heartbeat, and with every pulse, the air grew colder, heavier. At the top, she saw him, or what she thought was him. Jake stood there, pale, almost translucent, his eyes hollow. His lips moved, but no sound came out. Then he tilted his head, and a chilling grin spread across his face. Emily stumbled back. "Jake, what happened to you?" The floor beneath her groaned. Shadows stretched unnaturally along the walls, moving independently of the light. The whispering grew louder, filling the room with voices, dozens of them, speaking in hushed tones, chanting, laughing. "Join us." The figure of Jake reached toward her, and she saw it was not Jake at all. His skin peeled away like paper, revealing a dark, writhing mass beneath. Eyes blinked from the mass, countless eyes, all staring at her. Panic surged through her veins. She turned to run, but the doorway had vanished. The mill had changed, expanded impossibly, a labyrinth of darkness and shadow. Emily screamed. She ran through endless corridors, past rooms that twisted and bent in impossible ways. Each room held something different, flickering apparitions of people she knew, doors that led to black voids, and staircases that ended in nothingness. The whispers followed, always just behind her, promising, taunting, laughing. Finally, she reached a room where the floor was a mirror, reflecting the fog outside the mill. In the reflection, she saw herself, not just one Emily, but dozens, screaming silently, reaching toward the glass. Her own reflection turned to her and whispered, "You belong here now." Emily tried to fight, to run, but the shadows surged forward. She felt herself pulled into the mirror, her screams swallowed by the fog. Outside, the mill stood silent once more, the mist curling around its frame like a watchful eye. Weeks later, the townspeople reported strange sounds at night, machinery running, voices calling from the fog. Children swore they saw a pale girl in the mist, her eyes wide with terror, begging for help no one could give. And in the police reports, Jake was still missing, but so was Emily. Grayridge became a place people avoided, especially on foggy nights. Because those who entered the mill were never the same, or were never seen again. And the whispers, they never stopped. "Emily, Jake, come play with us." This story is around 1,200 words, filled with suspense, supernatural horror, and psychological terror, elements that tend to resonate with American horror audiences.